Nino Brown Boxing. I'm back in the building. Shout out to the LDBC. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. All right, guys. So I've been looking through the 154-pound rankings, and within the last few years, 154 has given boxing some of the most meaningful and action-packed fights. A lot of fight of the year caliber fights consistently. Now, recently, and when I say recently, within the last 6 to 8 months, 154 has been somewhat stagnant with the action. 154 was about champions fighting champions, unification bouts, title eliminators, young guys stepping up, first round knockouts. We know all of that shit. Now, my favorite guy, Jared Swift Hurd, had a lot to do with it. But with the division being stagnant now, he has a lot to do with that shit as well, and it's extremely disappointing. With that being said, we all know that Tony Harrison and Jamel Charlo, they're having their rematch in December. Highly anticipated bout that I'm definitely looking forward to. But we have guys like Julian J. Rock Williams. He has a fight against Rosano. I made a video about that. I'm going to be dropping that video before this one. And that's not a fight that, that's not a fight anyone was calling for. But at the same time, it's, J. Rock is going home, so I can respect it. It's all good. But at the same time, there's plenty of other guys at 154, and a lot of noise can be made. Now, we understand the promotional issues, like Jaime Munguia, he don't want any real smoke. Jesse Vargas, he was on this side, but even if Jesse Vargas was with the PBC, I don't see Jesse Vargas stepping in the ring with any of these guys, and if he did, I don't see it being a good outcome. You have Kell Brook that can't make up his mind if he's a 154-pound fighter or if he's going back to 147. Depending on the week, Kell Brook can make 147, and depending on the next week, he can't. So now I'll go down to the list. We have like younger guys at 154, like Carlos Adams. I've seen a couple of his fights, but he fights over there on ESPN. He's a Dominican guy from New York. I like his style, but once again, he's on the other side of the street, so I haven't really had the opportunity to see him against against anyone that I would see, like I would feel like it's a higher caliber fighter. But with that being said, it's other guys in the division. So as I look through these rankings, I see Erickson Lubin. We all know Erickson Lubin. He just had a fight. He just fought Nathaniel Gallimore. He was originally supposed to fight Terrell Goucher, and Gallimore was a replacement. It went to a unanimous decision. It was a great showing for Erickson Lubin, even though Gallimore, he had a couple moments. I wouldn't even say a few. He definitely had a couple moments though. But Erickson Lubin is a young guy. We all know the story. What happened with Jamel Charlo, first round knockout, too young, whatever. Now, as I look at the guys that's on the PBC side, and if I want to play matchmaker for Erickson Lubin, obviously I wouldn't put him back in there with Jamel Charlo, Tony Harrison. Tony Harrison and Jamel are tied up anyway. Jared Hurd, Julian J. Rock Williams, Erickson Lara. I feel like Erickson Lubin is almost there, but not quite there yet. Because, we're talking about guys that are very seasoned. They're veterans at 154, and they've been in there. So, with that being said, I feel like the perfect opponent for 2020 for Erickson Lubin, because if I'm not mistaken, he fought like a title eliminator. But before Erickson Lubin goes after any more of that championship smoke, I feel like his last test should be against the undefeated Brian Castano. Now, Brian Castano, he had a draw with Erickson Lara back in March earlier this year, and this would be a good fight for Erickson Lubin. It would be a great barometer test to see if Erickson Lubin can take Brian Castano's the guy that had a draw with Erickson Lara, and let's just say if he has the ability to even stop him or just beat him all 12 rounds or 11 rounds or just beat the guy in dramatic fashion, stoppage or not, that will be the fight that lets me know that Erickson Lubin is ready to step up and face these champions. Erickson Lubin, I say, it's nothing wrong with taking another fight that's not a championship fighter, just to double check, to be extremely diligent to see if you're prepared to make that step. He's still a young guy, and he still has a lot of time in his career. So Erickson Lubin, I don't think he would be doing himself a disservice whatsoever when it comes to him just testing himself again. Like, we got to remember that Erickson Lubin, he's only 24 years old. He turned 24 back in October. So with that being said, Erickson Lubin has a lot of room to grow and a lot of opportunity. I mean, majority of these guys in this weight class, they're either entering their 30s or they're already in their 30s. So Erickson Lubin, if he can continue to make the weight, he's definitely the future. So Erickson Lubin versus Brian Castano in 2020. That's the fight that I'm calling for the PBC. I feel like that would be a great fight to either be like on an undercard of one of these big fights at 154. And since, you know, the PBC likes to match up a lot of these 154 guys and put them on the same card, that would be definitely a good test, and we can build the fight up. You know, have Brian Castano and Erickson Lubin have some trash talk leading up towards the fight, and just see how everything play out. I feel like whoever J-Rock is going to face after his next fight, put Erickson Lubin and Brian Castano on the undercard, especially considering the fact that Brian Castano recently called out J-Rock. And hey man, I feel like it would be a good field. We all know that the PBC is pushing for Erickson Lubin to be a good be their next guy, be their next superstar, be their next young champion. With that being said, Erickson Lubin can take a fight that a lot of guys like Gervonta Tank Davis aren't taking, and that's a step-up fight against a guy that's an extremely respectable opponent, an opponent that's actually been in there with someone of high caliber, and they're not some old guy on the end of their career. They're not like on the downside of their career. So hopefully I can make this fight happen. I'll make another video about this in the future, but we'll see what happens, guys. Nino Brown Boxing. Shout out to the LDBC, and I'm out.